Hello, welcome to episode 14 of the Fibre Nerd podcast. My name is Allison Barnes and I live in Edmonton, Alberta, Canada with my husband, my son, and my 3 cats, Wicket, Cricket, and Kennedy. Thanks for coming back if you're a returning viewer, and if you're new, thanks for checking me out. This is a video podcast about knitting and hand dyeing yarn. And sometimes I also do some sewing and some spinning, but I haven't done any spinning for quite a long time. But I'm kind of getting the itch to get back into it. I'm just drinking from my new old kitty mug that my mom picked up for me when they were down in Arizona, just from a thrift store. Super cute. And welcome. I have not recorded a podcast for a couple of weeks. It was spring break here last week, and in fact I'm recording a day later than I normally do. It is Tuesday, April the 3rd, and I hope everybody had a lovely Easter. We did. We hosted Easter dinner with my family on Sunday, and I just got my hair re-dyed and trimmed this morning. So off the top of the podcast, we're going to talk about a little bit of administrative things. That's the word I was looking for. Okay, so today is April the 3rd. You know what that is? That's the cast on day for the Sunshowers Shawl knit along. Yay! Knit along time. It's our first knit along on my YouTube channel, and it's for this shawl here. It's a crescent shape, and it is designed by Ines Sang. She is known as Yumi Rumi Knits on Instagram, and she's a designer based out of the Greater Vancouver area in British Columbia. And we are doing a knit along for this pattern. If you would love to join us for this knit along, you can join the Ravelry group called Allison Barnes Yarnies. Go to Ravelry, look under the groups tab, and search for Allison Barnes Yarnies, and you will find all the info about the Sunshowers Shawl knit along. Oh, Cricket's here. Hello. Yes, so please join us. The only requirement for the knit along is that you knit the Sunshowers Shawl by Ines Sang, this pattern. You can use any yarn you want. And I'm just going to reach over and grab my yarn that I've chosen. This is the yarn that I'm going to be using. This is going to be my main color for the top part and the striping. And this is the second color for the more textured section on the shawl. And this one is by Sea Turtle Fibre Arts. Does it have a name? It doesn't have a name, but it is their Ridley sock base. And it is a very dark black with pops of blue and purple and kind of in and around those kinds of colors. The second skein that I already caked up is from Poppy Yarn and Fibre, and this color is called Fanciful, and it is on their Argento sock base, which is sparkly. I don't know if you can see. You can kind of see sparkles in there. I'm really excited to have sparkles, and it kind of matches my hair, which is really fun. So yes, so I will hopefully be casting that on today after I get the podcast up. But I have a little bit of dyeing to do today, so I'm going to be doing that, starting the dyeing before I edit the podcast. So if you want to join us for the KAL, please do. And I have a special announcement. Our first giveaway on the podcast coming up towards the end of the podcast. So make sure you stick around and watch. I will talk about it before shop update. Okay, we are going to move along to finished objects. I have a finished object. It is a pair of socks. They're over here. These are my Regia socks. I don't have the label with me. I only have one sock blocker and it doesn't even fit on it, and this is the medium size. So you know what that means? It means the sock is a little too big for me. When I first put it on, it fit really well. I knew that my gauge was a little bit loose, but I'm still learning to find my perfect formula for making socks that fit me. So it doesn't bother me. These will just be like house socks, bed socks, that kind of thing. But as you can see, the colors are opposite of each other because the yarn, that's just how the yarn kind of stripes, which I think is fun. My dad thought there was something wrong with my socks, and I said, no, that's just how the yarn came out of the ball. But to make these socks, I used the tutorial, or the kind of the sock recipe by what's her name again? Susan Anderson. This is how I knit my socks, and that's what I followed for the main part of the sock, but I didn't do her heel. I did a fish lips kiss heel. So I used a 2.75 millimeter 9-inch circular needle, high sharps, and I cast on 64 stitches, and I continued on until I got to a leg height that I liked, and then I started the fish lips kiss heel, did my decreases, and then I knit the foot to 2 inches before my total foot length, which was about 7 inches, and then I did the toe decreases that are suggested in her sock recipe. So that's Susan B. Anderson's How I Knit My Socks, and that's what I used to knit these socks, and that's what I use for all of my vanilla socks. Yeah, so I find that the 2.75 millimeter needle is maybe just a little bit too loose. And before, when I first knit my first pair of socks, I used a 2.25 millimeter needle, and I found them a little tight. But then I ended up frogging them and re-knitting them on 2.75 millimeter, and I gifted them to my mom. So, and they seem to fit her well, and they don't look like they're sagging or bagging. So I don't know if I just need to go down to like a 56 stitch sock, or if I should try a 2.5 millimeter needle, or if I should try my 2.25 millimeter needle again and just try wearing them and seeing how they fit. So yeah, I'm not really sure what I'm going to do, but I also don't know which sock yarn to do. Of course the phone rings. So I went around and I found my bags of whips, and I also found the yarn I was using for my socks. It's this Regia Floromania, and the color number is 07184, and you can see that the striping is kind of like this. But I like having opposite socks. I think it's fun. So that is my finished object. Yay! I have another pair of socks on the needles. It's the Prong Socks by Nicole Bracey, and I haven't knit on them for a little while, so I may go back to them before I cast on new socks, but I've got some new self-striping sock yarn, which I will show you in another segment, Stash Enhancements, and it's really pretty. But first we need to talk about more knitting. I have 2 works in progress that I want to show to you today. And the first one is my dad's sweater. It's the Chicane by Cookie A, and I'm using Knit Picks Wool of the Andes Superwash in the color Camel Heather. This is a worsted weight yarn, slightly rustic feeling, but it is superwash, so I know my mom or my dad can launder his sweater without too much worry. And I have finished the back panel. This is the back of my dad's sweater. It has the armholes, and it has ribbing at the bottom, and this knit up so quickly. I really enjoy knitting with this yarn, and it just went so fast, and I really want to knit on it some more, but I also really wanted to start a sweater for myself. So this panel is done, and it's going to be set aside. The project's going to be set aside for a little while so I can at least get a really good start on my sweater for myself, because my dad doesn't need his sweater this summer. He won't need it again until the winter, and so he knows he's gonna get it for Christmas. So what I am doing now, I'm going to show you a picture. It's the Backshore by Alicia Plummer, and it's a DK weight sweater, and I'm using 2 colors. I love this striped, the wide stripe look. You can tell I like stripes because this sweater I'm wearing has wide stripes as well. It looks like a really comfortable, relaxed, casual sweater, and it's shown here with like elbow length sleeves, and I'm not sure what I'll do. I guess it depends on how much yarn I have left over after I do the body. The body comes down just to the top of the hip, which is a really nice length on me. And I'm using 2 colors. I'm using my own hand-dyed yarn in the color Faded Denim as the contrast color. So it's a really pretty bluey silver kind of color. And the main color is from Haven Fibre Arts, and it's called First Day of Spring. And I bought it from her, from Jess, about a year ago. And I knew right away that I wanted to make a sweater, a striped sweater with it. And I went back and forth on what color to use as the contrast color for this, but I decided on this blue Faded Denim as a nice complementary color to the kind of peachy orangey tones in the skein. And there are some little bits of blue. You can kind of see little bits of blue, little bits of green, little bits of salmon, little bits of a kind of a taupe color. It's really pretty. I'll show you what I've got finished so far. I've started the second stripe, and I'm sorry guys, it's really hard to see because I am using my High Sharps interchangeables. I'm using the 5mm size needle on a 24-inch cord, and because it's on a 24-inch cord, you can't see the shape of the sweater. This is the neckline. This is the cast on up here. The front of the sweater is actually here. It starts with some short row shaping in the back because it's higher in the back than the front. And this is the first project I've ever done short rows on before. So that was an interesting learning experience. They weren't difficult at all. And as you can see, it's longer in the back and shorter in the front. So I'm just doing the raglan increases right now, and I want to put this sweater on a longer cord so I can actually put it on and see how it's fitting over my shoulders before I get to the armholes, before I split for the sleeves, so I can just see if it's a good fit or if I need to make a different size for whatever reason. I'll show you how first day of spring is looking knit up. It's so pretty. I love the speckles in it. I love all the colors. I had thought about putting it with the green, but I already have a green sweater. And I had also thought about putting it with my, I'll just grab it. Thought about putting it with my coral colorway. And it would have looked really nice with coral, but I don't know, something in me just really wanted this denim blue, so that's what I picked. I'll see what it looks like when I've got a few stripes in, and if it ends up looking like not what I pictured, then maybe I'll change it. But so far, that's what I have. Yep, really quick to knit. It's a DK weight pattern, and well, like I said, I want to put it on the bigger cord so that I can actually kind of start trying it on as I knit it from the top down. So that's about it for works in progress, and what should we talk about next? I'm going to talk about stash enhancement. And so now I will show you the skein that I've hidden behind the camera. My friend Ashley from Comfy Cozy Knits had a shop update back in, what was it, February 28th, so a month ago. And she had some new spring colors and she does self-striping yarn for socks, and she does beautiful colors. And this is actually my first self-striping yarn purchase from her shop. And this is what I bought, and it's called Cherry Blossom. And I was so excited for this one because one of the stripes is a speckled stripe, and it has pink, and I love pink. And it's just so springy and summery, and I can't wait to knit with it. So, see, you can see the speckles there on the white stripe. Oh, it's so pretty. You should go check out her shop. It's comfycozyknits.com, and she's based in Edmonton, same as me. Yeah, so this, I may knit this next, but I kind of want to save it until I know what my sock formula is, that where the socks are going to fit me well, because I don't really want to waste this on loosey-goosey fitting socks. So I'm not sure what I'm going to knit next. Maybe another ball of Regia. I'm not sure. So yeah, that's it for stash enhancement. I don't buy a lot of yarn, guys. I get tempted a lot, but I have a large enough stash that I would like to knit through some of it before I buy any more. And honestly, I plan to spend a lot of money at the Edmonton Fibre Frolic this year. Somehow, because I'm also a vendor there and organizing the Fibre Frolic with Jess. So somehow I'm going to get a chance to get away from my booth so that I can buy some yarn, because I've been checking the Instagram feeds of all of our vendors and I want all of it. I want lots of it. But I think I want like sweaters quantity or faded colors to make faded sweaters. I'm just really into garments right now. So like tank tops, t-shirts, sweaters, not as much shawls. I do like shawls, but I wear sweaters and t-shirts and that kind of thing more than I wear shawls. So what about you guys? What do you like knitting better? Or what do you like knitting more of? Shawls or garments? Or toques or socks? What do you like knitting most? I always like to have some socks on the needles because I find that they're good travel knitting. Good to knit on at knit night, because then I can still hold a conversation and not worry about messing up a pattern. But yeah, okay, that's it for stash enhancement. Now I'm going to tell you about our contest, about a giveaway. So, where did I put it? Here. If you are watching this video, then you are the first to know about a giveaway for the Sunshowers Shawl pattern. If you would like to win a copy of the Sunshowers Shawl pattern and perhaps knit with us for the KAL, then you need to go to the Ravelry Group, Allison Barnes Yarnies, and look for the Sunshowers Shawl giveaway post, and I'm going to put a question at the top, and you need to answer that question. I'm not sure what it's going to be yet. You have to go there to find out and answer the question, and I will draw a name on Friday, April 6th at, let's say, noon, Edmonton time. So, when you see this, go to the Ravelry Group, enter to win the copy of this pattern. Now, speaking of the colors in this pattern, some of you have purchased these exact colors to make this exact shawl, and I thank you so much for doing that. I've actually sold out of Tiptoe, the yellow on sock, but good news is I dyed some more, and there will be more Tiptoe going in the shop on Wednesday, which is tomorrow, Wednesday, April 4th at 5 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. Yes, so we'll continue with shop update now. I just like touching the shawl, so I have more Tiptoe going in the shop tomorrow. I also have Murmur, which is the purple and gray, and I will also have more silver gray because I am sold out of the fingering weight on silver gray. So just a small update. I only did a teeny little bit of dyeing last week because it was spring break, and I only did some dyeing because I had a photographer friend come over and do some kind of behind the scenes shots of me in the dye studio, and I'm really looking forward to seeing what they turn out like. If you are in Edmonton and you need a photographer, you should check out Margaret Massey Photography. Everything that I'm speaking about in this episode, I will link it down below in the show notes so that you can easily find everything that I'm speaking about. Okay, so I think I have said everything that I want to say. I talked about the Sunshowers Shawl knit along. I talked about entering to win a copy of the pattern. I talked about my finished object and my works in progress and my stash enhancement. And now you guys can go off into the world and cast on your Sunshowers shawl. I'm going to get busy dyeing and editing this podcast, and I will see you hopefully next week. Thank you so much for watching, and happy knitting. Bye.